Hey, what's up out there? It's David Duford here at davidduford.com, where I help insurance agents like you become top producing insurance professionals. And that's exactly what we're going to do on today's show. I am seated across the virtual table here with Mr. Eric out of Houston. Say hello, Eric.
Hey, hi, everybody.
Thank you for joining, Eric. And today we are on a continuing series of videos where I talk with insurance producers just like you about what struggles or concerns they have with making themselves a success in the insurance business. And what Eric and I are going to talk about today is how to generate more leads for himself as well as his agency. That's pretty much all I know. And what I'm going to do is turn this over to Eric to kind of elaborate on that and see what I can do to help. So feel free to take it away, Eric.
Okay, right. Thank you. Thank you again, David, for the opportunity. I've been watching your show, and we really learn a lot, here and there from all your programs. Truly, helping to improve. But at the same time, when last week when I saw the opportunity to actually be able to talk to you, kind of face to face and virtually, and I grabbed the opportunity right away. I signed up to this program. So again, thank you for the opportunity. So, the question I have is focused on, I've been in the business for about 2.5 years. Of course, going up and down, trying to develop my client base, my book, it has been some challenges, just like most of other, insurance agents, the financial advisors in this industry. And so far I've been surviving. So I've been having my book of clientele, and I work with them, mostly on the referral basis. That's the majority of my business, my income is coming from them, right? But at the same time, I've been helping my own agents in my business, in my agency, helping them to do the same thing. But obviously, it's always from the starting point, starting from scratch is always a struggle for most of my people, right? So how do I make sure that myself that I can continuing generate new leads, and at the same time, to add that to my book of clients, and also helping my new agents, who some of them could actually be very new and they don't really know a lot of people sometimes, and they don't have a quality market. How do we actually survive in the first 2 or 3 years with a more stable income? That's my question for you.
Yeah, good question. We should all ask, right? And many of us do. Right. Is how do we bridge the gap from getting into this business and maintaining a business out of it? And the answer always comes down to seeing the people and getting enough opportunity to see the people. So I'm going to ask you a couple of preliminary questions just to kind of make sure I understand your business, and then give you some advice or at least some recommendations on what I think.
Thank you.
So what do you sell, and then what do your agents sell, if anything different?
So I do mostly life insurance, right? From term life to the IUL, and of course I do annuity, the retirement solutions. Those are usually I do very little when it comes to variable products. So that's something I am not really spend a lot of time with, and therefore I don't really focus on that when it comes to my suggestion to my clients. My agents, most of them are just health license, and so health and life license. So they focus on the term life, the universal life, whole life maybe, but not a lot. And of course, I also focus on the annuity.
Okay, so kind of they're doing the same thing you're doing then, right?
Yes, and my majority of my clientele are either young people, young families.
Okay.
Some of them are retired, the 55 and above, retired people. And from time to time, I work with some, business owners. Maybe they're self-employed, they don't have the 401k, so they need some assistance too, to start saving something, into a program.
How did you get your current book of business?
It's like I said, most of 90% is from word of mouth. So I network with people, and I ask, very diligently and asking for referrals.
So you're working the warm market approach, and from there you're getting prospects that will eventually refer out to other prospects. kind of the idea?
Right.
Okay.
Obviously, in the beginning, I work with a lot of cold market too. Just try to
Sure.
kind of use them as a like the batting practice to help me
Yeah.
to actually get to talk to more people, because I was an introvert in the beginning.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so I get to learn how to talk to more people, and whether it's on the recruiting side or whether on the client side, that helped me a little bit. But I kind of grow into more of a warm market, talking to people, and build my reputation, doing a good job, and then of course ask for referrals.
Right. Right. Absolutely. How did you feel your experience was starting off cold calling? Was this something that you felt was good that you did, that you got out there and got some initial business, or was it a waste of time and you should have just done warm marketing to begin with?
I would be saying that I kind of like it is. I think in this business, nothing is really like a waste of the energy, a waste of efforts.
Right.
I got a lot of experience from that, but as of results, whether it's in the clients or maybe my agency, it's not really growing from the co-market practice.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that what are your agents doing? Not you, but your agents. Are they doing cold calling? Are they doing warm marketing?
No, I'm not really teaching them to do too much of the
Okay.
marketing. So yeah, so it's more toward more.
How's the results been with the warm marketing approach?
It's okay. Yeah, I think a lot of times it also comes down to the coachability, right? So some
Yeah.
people are really listening and following the instruction will have better results. Some people are, they say they would do it. So it's case by case. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is kind of an interesting video in the sense that most of the videos that agents are going to watch here are going to be agent based. Like the last guy I talked to was talking about call reluctance, right? All agents, that's kind of an agent related training. This, on the other hand, is kind of a combination of both, right? It's like, okay, what do you do when you don't have any leads? That's definitely an agent thing, but it's also an agency thing. Like how do
Mm-hmm.
we help our agents stay busy? And
Yes.
and I can tell you from one agency owner to another is that the biggest challenge is that whatever method you work or whatever method you get has a level of success to it. It's undeniable that if you follow a good warm marketing approach, you know how to work it, you duplicate success, you can get in front of really good prospects that are unreachable any other way and write a lot of business. But you also, like you said, have to have people that are coachable that can follow that same method.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have somebody that, and I'll take myself for this perfect example. When I got into this business, the last thing I wanted to do was warm market to my list. And I'm not saying that it's bad to do. It's just my belief system was, I don't want to sell somebody to something to somebody that, I don't want to use my people as somebody to sell to. Right. And
Right.
that's a common objection you probably hear. I know I hear from others too.
I had that too.
Yeah, and the truth is, at the end of the day, that's the wrong mindset. What you have to realize is you're not going in there to harm them. And in many cases, people would prefer to buy from friends and family members and associates. And many times, nobody's getting in front of them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a opportunity to help people out that they may not otherwise receive, and that's true. I mean, we put up so many barriers to get in front of prospects. So, anyways, getting off on a tangent here. The point of me mentioning this is if you've got a method that works, you got to find people that will work the method and adhere to it. And everybody's going to have various results. Now, how many people do
Mm-hmm.
you have in your agency?
So about five, let's say the active ones.
Okay. Okay. And do you have like an ideal recruit that's doing what you do and he's doing a good volume of business? Like, you have one guy that's responsible for most of the production?
So far, no. It's I deliver most of the production right now.
So you're the guy. You're the guy in the organization
Yeah.
that does
Yeah.
it. So you're the example. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, you've, and maybe this is where you want to go in a conversation, but I think it's important to state that what you're doing works, but you got to find somebody that also will align with that method too. And even in my agency where I recruit agents, look, I've got a duplicatable system with direct mail and final expense. I've got a great system for annuities and teaching agents how to hire a telemarketer, set appointments. So they just don't even have to call, they just run them. But that doesn't guarantee success. The minority are the ones that actually do something, that are coachable, that follow through and adhere to the guidelines. And so I guess where I'm going with is that, maybe your method works just fine. And it's part of this challenge is also finding people to work the method right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and that's the challenge of all of us guys that run an agency, is just, we've got the system here. If we just get the right person to do it, life's a lot better. But finding that right person, that's the challenge. That's always the difficulty.
Right. And I realize that, everybody got their learning curve, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it's the right people, but still, there is a curve that you need to, climb out. I'm very young in this business too, so only 2.5 years. So, obviously my agent's a lot younger than me,
right,
in this industry. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And there is a learning curve. It's not something, there's no easy way in this business. It's all hard. It's all difficult. Right. You got to fight to survive in this business. There's no way around that. But I guess kind of another question I would ask you, have you looked at doing like educational seminars or anything like that for your agents to do?
You mean have them to do it, or do I host this educational seminar?
Sure. I mean, like, as a way to generate leads. Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah. I do that once a while. Yeah. For example, like this Thursday, actually, I'm hosting a topic is actually talking about real estate investments.
Okay.
So
yeah.
We have those things here going on. So I'm inviting people to come. Right?
Okay. Yeah, man. I think I think cold calling works. It's a volume game. It's a numbers game. You got to have thick skin, right? But there's not a lot of options for free lead generation. I think seminar marketing, when done correctly, is one of the best forms of prospecting. I mean, I would highly recommend looking at, having your guys that are willing to talk and give quick educational talks on a particular topic, to go out and talk to, like, let's say Kiwanis clubs, Rotary clubs, small churches. There are the thing that's great about speaking events is that it's the one form of marketing that is not saturated whatsoever. And there's always a lack of speakers for the amount of organizations that want them. So if you simply go out and call on these groups that meet all the time, first of all, they need speakers in many capacities. Second of all, some of them just get bored meeting all the time and they need something to switch it up, and something relevant to that group is really good at just making it, useful and entertaining and kind of spicing things up. But the power of giving a seminar, the reason I like it is that, first of all, you're like a celebrity. You're assumed to be the expert. Your guys that are brand new and new to this business, even younger than you, when they get up there and start talking confidently about a basic subject, it's assumed in the mind of the person watching that their skill level is up there, that, they know what they're doing, that they're great for, potentially doing business with. And by the time you talk to them, they know you, they like you, they trust you. And the meetings are a totally different animal than a cold call. They're much more like a referral, somebody who knows you, maybe in the market and that kind of thing. And the business is all free. It's just waiting to be had. And it's not the kind that responds to direct mail. It's not the kind that does telemarketing leads. It's a totally unique type of business that doesn't get as much competition calling on it. Have you thought about doing seminars or having your agents do some kind of like approach to get out in the field, like what you're thinking about doing?
Yeah. I've been thinking about it, but obviously that's maybe I just need to put a little bit more focus on it. I've done that a couple of times myself, but not enough for my own people to actually searching for those opportunities.
And so when you did them, Eric, did you write any business? What were your results doing them?
Well, back in time, I was doing a couple ones that actually in-house. So I do have a office, and with the big open conference was doing that. Yes, of course, I have some good leads come in. I wrote business. And there's a couple times that we're doing the estate planning, and of course that I had to do with the attorney, and were some business too. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So it works, and it's a method personally that you've done. It does well, and it works just as well for the high end deals like the estate planning, as well as like the basic entry level type as well. You can find basic term business, and like, let's say you go to a small church, you meet with the pastor and you talk about, hey, I want to talk about financial planning or some of the pitfalls young couples make. Do you have a women's group? Maybe talk about concerns related to, middle-aged women as related to financial stuff. And you'll get a captive audience, and you'll find all sorts of opportunities to do business with. And we do that in final expense. I teach agents to do that, to go in and do a seminar to senior residences, and it's a captive audience, and you make a couple sales. It's not huge money, but it's predictable, and it always gets you in front of people. The converse, you're not even, it's not like some big drawn out seminar where it's got to be an hour. You could spend 15, 20 minutes going over some basic information, taking Q&A at the end, nothing too over the top, but
right.
It's just, the thing is that seminars put your guys in a position to write great business and start to work their referral magic from the business that they get, and continue that chain along where you'd like it to be. So, and remember, I tell guys this all the time that look at seminars. Look at Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey, his business, the reason he's successful is because, well, he works hard and he earned it, of course, but he did, I think it's called Financial Peace. It was essentially a church-based financial planning program that he's franchised. Okay. Say that again, Eric. I'm sorry. Hey there, Eric.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you said something.
Connection.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So my point is with Dave is that he franchised that opportunity through kind of a educational type of program to churches. And, there's a lot of people at that level that need basic help with stuff like life insurance and stuff. And so people are really receptive to it. You just have to approach it to them, explain to them it's an educational seminar. There's not going to be any hard selling. Sure, you'll help people if they're interested, but your main job is just to provide some information, provide a service. And there's a lot of people be willing to do that. Seminars are way easier too to book. Especially the ones that need to have speakers in. If you just ask many times, you'll get
it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So let's see what else here. So we talked about seminar marketing. We talked about.
Let me ask you another question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So you mentioned about earlier, like you probably have a paid leads. I have never done that. How does that work? And is that something that you will recommend me to go?
Yeah, so paid leads, I think, are a great way to get in front of prospects on some level. Now, I think it's important that you understand some basics about how to deploy the tactics. So first of all, I think the best way to use paid leads is to lead with one product, okay? And train your agents to do one product. So for example, you could do mortgage protection. Your agents go in, receive a lead that's interested in protecting the house with a life insurance policy. That way, all you do is your agents go in and lead with one product. There's not a lot of confusion. Should I sell whole life? Should I sell final expense? Should I sell estate planning? They don't have to know all that. They just got to get really good at one core product, okay? Um, or it could be something like final expense, which is another product line. There's a lot of prospects there. You just get leads, they come back, send your agents out to see them, bada bing, bada boom. And what you could do from there, this is another strategy. I actually picked this up from the 8% Nation conference I went on back in November. I sat next to a guy in a panel who lives in Georgia, and he runs an agency there. And what his strategy was is that he would have his agents go out and talk about Medicare, or it may have been final expense, something simple, okay? And in that process, he was talking to these people. They would also do a fact finder and ask about, what are you doing with any 401k money, IRA money, money in savings, blah, blah, blah. And the agents would act as a lead generator and bring back to you, or bring back to him, these potential opportunities for annuities. And then he would go out and sell that, and then give the agent a referral fee, maybe 25% or a third or half. I don't know what it was. But the point is that not only did he have his agents going out there finding the bread and butter basic deals that are easier to find than the big ones, but once they found another one, they didn't have to be burdened with knowledge of how an annuity works and how all the details there. They would just refer that back to him, and then he'd go out and close the monster deal, and they'd get a nice kickback in the form of a split commission. And it was a good deal for them. So that might be a way to look at this, as a way to get you involved on some level too, to still go after the big cases. Like you'll even find that stuff in final expense, big annuities, stuff that you wouldn't think is there inside of a basic, simple life insurance deal. Right. So as far as different kinds of leads, I've always been, I'm generally a direct mail guy. The question you've got to ask yourself as an agency owner is, do you want to finance the leads for your agents and have them basically have free leads, or do you want them to carry the cost? It's a difficult decision. It's like, well, do they have the money to pay them? Okay, what if they don't? But do you want to take the risk? It's something you have to really take a measured approach to. There's also, and with direct mail, it takes a while to get your leads back, so there's always money up invested in it. There's also Facebook leads that you could do as well. Those turn around really fast. Your money's not as much involved in it. And you can get an agent 15, 20 leads in 3 days. And he can go to work right away. And you can see if he's going to sink or swim. And if you finance that yourself, let's say, then, you've got to have a break even of 20 leads at $15 a pop. That's $300, right? And he's got to sell one policy, whatever his commission is, maybe one or two policies that cover that cost, is kind of the break even. And you can test really quickly if that guy's worth having on a free lead program. I know an agency out of Louisiana that does that. They do direct mail though, but their agents don't pay anything for leads. They just get the leads, they go run them, come back. I know a group out of Georgia that does the same thing. So it's a viable model that works. You just kind of have to figure out, what your risk tolerance is and kind of what you're comfortable with.
I see. Thank you.
You got any other questions for me, Eric?
No. I got a lot of ideas that I need to probably make some plan with, and just implement it to try them out.
Yeah, I think the last thing I'll say on lead generation, the key is focus. Is find something that's proven to work, and this is paid lead generation or not, and go all into it. Make that your life force. All the top agencies I see, they do one thing really well as far as products, but also as far as marketing. Equita Final Expense Services, they're a final expense company out of Dallas. All they do is final expense, and all they do is direct mail lead generation. It's a simple process. It's what Lincoln Heritage does. All those guys do, I mean, they have some TV leads, but the vast majority of their leads are direct mail based. They only sell final expense, of course. And it's the simple system, rinse and repeat, and go all in. But that's the idea, is just isolate your focus on one type of marketing strategy that you like, that works well for your agency, and invest entirely into that. There's so much business out there. It's just a matter of figuring out what works best. That's the way I look at it.
So your suggestion is to research, study, and just focus on one strategy instead of, try to have a multiple gun and do the shotgun approach. Right? So a bit more focus.
Yeah, I'm kind of, it depends. So, you if you look at it from the marketing standpoint, a lot of people will argue you should have multiple levers at work in your multiple fish poles in the pond, right? To get different leads.
Mm-hmm.
I've just seen more success in insurance where you have somebody who is absolutely invested in one approach and one type of marketing method.
Right.
Like, I know a guy up in Michigan. All he does are dinner seminars for annuities. This guy writes $1 million a month. That's all he does. He doesn't do any in-home stuff. They come to his office. He doesn't do any direct mailers. He doesn't do radio ads. It's just seminars. I know a guy that, writes Medicare supplements. That's all he does. He writes 60 to 80 a month. It's all Facebook generated. He doesn't do anything else. I don't know a lot of guys that have this like variety of lead sources that does well. I'm sure it exists. I just don't know it. And then as far as the product goes, yeah, I'm a big believer in you should master one product first before generalizing or picking up other product lines. I've always been a final expense guy. And it was really hard for me because I'm curious and like a lot of other products too. But as soon as I started to divest my attention away, and I'm no dummy, I'm smart and I work hard. But as soon as I got my attention distracted from final expense, selling Medicare supplements or maybe looking at Medicare Advantage or mortgage protection, my final expense production dropped. And then I found I'd have to go out and sell some more because I was in a position of running broke, so it's like this vicious cycle. I just think, and I recommend agents to focus on one type of product, get really good at it, and only after a year of consistent production, look at adding other product lines on top of that.
I see.
Yeah. And look, not everybody's like that. Some people can handle different products well, but I'm only concerned at what the average guy does, right? Like if you're recruiting agents, they're not all going to be superstars. Some are going to be okay, but consistent. Some are going to be good, and we want to build agents up that can take a simple system and repeat it over and over again. And to me, one part of that is making sure you have a simple product that is simple to understand. But if you start taking final expense, Medicare, long-term care, and trying to couple that together with a new agent, they're going to be so paralyzed by analysis that they won't sell anything. And you've wasted all this time trying to train a guy that overwhelmed, and you've taken away from your own personal production. So anyways, I'm big on the focused effect, and then grow your offerings as you improve or show improvement.
Okay. Right. Thank you, David.
Any other questions, Eric?
Thank you. No, that will be it. I just need to, like you said, I need to find my focus and maybe train my people to do a little bit more out there, with the seminar ideas. And I think it's a great idea. I just haven't done that a lot.
Sure.
That's another challenge that I always have is it's sometimes I feel like it's the wrong idea that maybe it's only me doing the things, right? So I don't feel all that safe and secure for them to do their own seminar, go out there and do their own speech. So I always kind of be there and watch it and just make sure things don't go wrong. And maybe I need to let them fly a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Let them get out there and take a system and see how it goes. And yeah, man, I mean, it's out there, you just got to know where to look and talk to. There's all these organizations, and it's just a matter of figuring it out and executing, so. Well, Eric, thank you so much for your time. For you guys watching this,
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a ongoing video series I do with agents and agencies who have questions, concerns, and challenges, and like my insight. If you like this video, please subscribe. Also, leave a comment below if you have any questions or comments. And thank you so much for watching. Eric, thank you for your time, and
Okay.
we shall talk to you later. See you later.
Okay.